Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Learning Curve SG, the channel where we talk about everything and anything that is related to PE and learning. So, in this episode, I want to talk about differentiated instruction, which is also known as DI to many of us. Why do I want to talk about it? The reason is because I was able to witness a PE lesson where DI was done well, and the students were very motivated in learning their volleyball skills and also playing their 4v4 game. But before we go into the example of how DI was done in the lesson which I witnessed, let's take a look at the definition first. From a quick research online, DI is basically a systematic educational approach in which teachers modify content as well as teaching and learning activities to honor. And I want to emphasize the word honor because it places greater importance on the words that comes after it than the words that precedes it. So it is basically to honor the range of students' backgrounds and to maximize their learning opportunities and capacities, according to Professor Tomlinson, who is actually the guru for DI itself. In addition, according to Professor Tomlinson, DI is not an instructional strategy, nor is it a teaching model. As mentioned in the earlier definition, it is to honor the range of students' background to maximize learning opportunities and capacities. Therefore, DI is actually a way of thinking, an approach to teaching, a philosophy about teaching and learning that focuses on where the students are at instead of the activities we differentiate for them. It is always about understanding the students first and not the activities. So from the definitions, we have this framework that is also crafted by Professor Tomlinson, where she showed that when we differentiate instructions and activities, we can differentiate its content, process, product, as well as the effective environment. So even in this framework, if you notice, the focus is on understanding the readiness, interests, and styles of learning, which therefore requires teachers to be more proactive to the needs of our students. Again, it is about learning and knowing about our students first. It is not so much about the content, process, product, and effective environment. That comes later. But how can PE teachers do DI for our PE lessons? There is actually this step framework we can refer to help us in differentiation of content, process, product, and the environment. So let's say if we want to restrict or enhance the movement of students, we may wish to adjust space, or if we wish to help students to be more successful in shooting the basketball, especially if they are beginners, we may wish to adjust the equipment by using a smaller ball, especially if they are just starting off learning the shooting skills itself. Now, to what I witnessed recently that DI actually worked well. So in this example, the students were allowed to choose the skills that they want to practice during the skill development activity and during their 4v4 mini volleyball game. The outcome was that students were all very motivated because even those who were less skilled were willing to play against the more skillful players in the volleyball game because they can be successful in receiving any ball that goes over the net by catching it to receive it instead of strictly using either the bump or the set pass. Even during the skill development practice phase of the lesson, the students practice on the skill that they are comfortable with. But as the teacher moved around from area to area to observe, she then encourages them to try practicing a skill that is a level above what they are doing if she notices that they have already mastered that particular skill at that level. So throughout the entire lesson, the students were on task and they were very motivated to learn. So all in all, when DI was done well, the students get to taste success more easily, especially the beginners. And when students taste success, they want to continue to do things to taste even more success. So in this example, Yueh differentiated the task which the students needed to practice on, and the simple idea of receiving the volleyball was broken down into 4 levels in which students can choose to start their practice at a level which they are comfortable with. After that, master it before progressing upwards. The task differentiation that provided progressive mastery supported a constant and consistent dose of dopamine spike when a student actually manages an achievement, which then gives them the motivation to continue to want to progress upwards. However, the background work to build trust between the teacher and the students was even more crucial because it then helps the teacher to understand what they could and could not do with the students. So in whatever pedagogy we use in our lessons, be it MTV, DI, IBL, CLA, NLP, we always start off with knowing our students and learners first. It is like us being a physician. We need to know our patients first before administering the medication and the medical advice. We can't just give Panadol or antibiotics for any ache, pains, or flu. This is basically the end of my sharing. Hope that the sharing has been helpful for you. And if you find this video useful, do give a like, share, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. And I will see you in the next one. As always, may the joy of teaching be with you.